Shadowing. How to cook a nutritious and delicious meal with $10. Grocery prices are rising and we are all feeling the pinch at the supermarket checkout. As a single mom of three, our next guest needed to cut costs while still feeding their family nutritious meal that her kid would actually eat. With a deal budget of just $70 a week, Chelsea Goodwin is now sharing her wisdom and delicious recipes in her new book called $10 Meals with Chelsea. Chelsea Goodman join us now for her kitchen in Brisbane. Chelsea, good morning to you. Good morning, show. Good morning, Thatcher. Now this is really personal one. You didn't actually set out necessarily to write this book, but it's a personal one for you because essentially you're inviting us into your kitchen. What led to the book that I correct? I mean, the book is essentially just a compilation of the type of meal plans that I'm cooking with my family each week, and we were just in a position where we have to really tighten the first string and figure out a way to bring down the budget and then settle on that sort of $70 a week for dinner. So yeah, I've started coming with these meal plans and started sharing them online, and it ended up in a book now. Meal plan that is key. It's you are about the planning. Absolutely. There's no way I could eat without really meticulous planning, and that's the way that I'm able to keep those costs really low. The thing is, though, Chelsea, people are struggling with their finances, but they are also time poor as well. Is this a time consuming thing to do? All this planning? Initially, it was. When I first started meal planning, it was something that would take hours each week to figure it out. Now I feel like I've got it down to a bit of fine art and I can do it pretty quickly. But I say when you're starting off, it is something you have to allot time for. Sorry, we're just having a microphone issue there, but um, when you are doing the planning, tell us some of the tips that you've learned over the time of doing that and what worked for you. Yeah, certainly. I mean, for me, it's all about minimizing waste and keeping the cost really low. So I found the best way to do that is to make sure that I'm planning meal that share ingredients. So, for instance, I'll try only to use one bunches of rice hard for the whole week. If I have to go out and buy it and share them between multiple meals, so there's no waste. Or, you know, for instance, if I'm using sour cream, I'll use that in 3 different meals, particularly with ingredients that have um, expiration dates on them, sort of nearly expiration date. Just make sure that they are all used up within that week. So this is different to batch cooking because I'm a confession here. I found cooking a bit of a chore, and so I'm more of a batch cooker to avoid having to cook as much. But this is different, yeah. It is a little bit different. So I do a version of batch cooking where I'll cook sort of a hero dish at the beginning of the week, and then we'll use that dish in different meals throughout the week and sort of convert this into completely different meals. I give an example. It might be a roast lamb that I'm making at the beginning of the week, and then I'll use that in a Middle East style pasta dish, and then I'll use that in a Moroccan soup. So we're saving time for these other meals, but also stretching cheap cut up meat by far. One more. Grocery prices are rising, and we're all feeling the pinch at the supermarket checkout. As a single mom of 3, our next guest needs to cut costs while still feeding their family nutritious meal that her kids would actually eat. With a dinner budget of just $70 a week, Chelsea Goodwin is now sharing her wisdom and delicious recipe in her new book called $10 Meal with Chelsea Goodwin. Join us now for her kitchen in Brisbane. Chelsea, good morning to you. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Fatia. This is really personal one. You didn't actually set up necessarily to write this book, but it's a personally one for you because essentially you are inviting us into your kitchen. What led to this book? That's correct. I mean, the book is essentially just a compilation of the type of meal plan that I cooking with my family each week, and we're just a passion. We have to really tighten the first strings and figure out a way to bring down the budget, and then settle on that sort of $70 a week for dinner. So yeah, I'm starting to come up with this meal plan, started sharing it online, and it ended up in a book now. Meal plan, that's as key, isn't it? You're all about the planning. Absolutely, there's no way I could do without really meticulous planning, and that's the way I'm able to keep those costs really low. The thing is, though, Charles, people are struggling with their finances, but they are also time poor as well. Is this a time consuming things to do, all this planning? Initially was when I first started meal planning, it was something that would take me hours each week to figure it out. Now I feel like I've got it down to a bit of fine art, and I can do it pretty quickly. But I'd say when you're starting off, it's something you have to allow time for. Sorry, we're just having microphone issue there, but um, when you are doing the planning, tell us some of the tips that you learned over the time of doing that and what worked for you. Certainly, I mean, for me, it's all about minimizing waste and keeping the cost really low. So I found the best way to do that is make sure that I'm in planning meal that share ingredients. So For instance, I try to use one budget of fresh horror for the whole week. If I have to go, I buy eight and I share them between multiple meals so there's no waste. Or, for instance, if I'm using sour cream, I will use that in three different meals, particularly with ingredients that have expiration dates on them, sort of the nearly expiration date. Just make sure they all used within next week. So this is different to batch cooking because I'm a confession here. I find cooking a bit of a chore, and so I'm more of a batch cooker to avoid having to cook as much. But this is different, yeah. It is a little bit different. So I do a version of batch cooking where I'll cook sort of a hero dish at the beginning of week, and then we will use that dish in different meal throughout the week and sort of converts into completely different meal. I give you an example. It might be a roast lamb, and I make the beginning of the week, and then I use that in a Middle East style pasta dish, and then I'll use it then in Moroccan soup. So we're saving time for those other meals, but also stretching cheap cut up meat by far. Yeah. As we say, grocery prices are going up, and it seems every week. Are you finding it harder to get under that $10 benchmark?